Join us and discover beautiful beaches, rugged landscapes, pretty towns, desolate mountain ranges that sweep down to stunning lakes, unique architecture, history and folklore, no shamrocks, no shillelaghs, and definitely no shenanigans, just naked Ireland. Well, it's pouring with rain, which is perhaps not that unique in Ireland in winter. It just makes it a little inconvenient for my visit to film today's Naked Ireland video, which just happens to be very special. Today we're in Cashel in County Tipperary and we're visiting the very impressive Rock of Cashel. As we round the corner here, prepare to be amazed as this towering medieval site comes into view. And there it is, the Rock of Cashel, looking very moody and grey on this dark day. But as always, if you visit a popular tourist destination like this in the pouring rain in winter time, you're sure to have it practically all to yourself. You can see that even the little gift shop that we pass on the way into the car park is closed. This group of buildings, mainly from the 12th and 13th centuries, is one of the best collections of medieval art and architecture found anywhere in Europe. And while the main existent buildings date from this period, the site is much older. Even prior to the Norman invasion, the kings of Munster used this site for several hundred years before. In fact, another name for the Rock of Cashel is St Patrick's Rock, as legend has it that St Patrick banished Satan from a cave 20 miles from here. And this event resulted in rocks from Devil's Bit Mountain flying through the air, such was the ferocity of St Patrick's banishing, and landing here. St Patrick did a lot of banishing in Ireland. Some of you may know that he also banished snakes. That's why there's not a single snake to be found in Ireland, except perhaps in the odd pet shop or zoo. In 1101, the site was donated to the church by the then King of Munster. For those living outside of Ireland, Munster is one of Ireland's 4 provinces. So here we are, this is a pretty immense building. And while much of what we're going to see is ruins, albeit incredible ruins, there's also a restored chapel, Cormac's Chapel, which contains Ireland's only surviving Romanesque frescoes, and the oldest stairs in Ireland. Unfortunately, a visit to the chapel's interior is by guided tour only, and so we'll not be seeing that in this film. But it might be something you'll want to book in advance for your visit. But just look at this. Even on a day like today, this building just simply takes your breath away. You have to ask how something like this could even be built in the 13th century. There are supermarkets built 20 years ago which are having to be demolished, and this place, built with all its primitive tools and technologies, is still defiantly standing proud. This cruciform designed cathedral was ransacked by English soldiers in the mid-1600s. Irish troops were massacred, as were the Catholic clergy, and unfortunately many important religious artefacts were destroyed. There are many interesting graves both inside and outside the cathedral, so maybe leave some time on your trip to really take a leisurely walk around and explore them. Obviously, due to the inclement weather, I'm moving a bit faster today than I normally would on a site like this. But this place is a fascinating glimpse into Ireland's ecclesiastical past. Perhaps the rain beating down on these stones adds a certain sombre atmosphere to the site. And if you're feeling a bit sorry for me filming in the rain, by the way, you should know that you can now buy me a pint. That would cheer me up no end. Anyway, if you feel like supporting Naked Ireland, you can see how to do that in the description below. Actually, it's fortunate that you can see someone at the other end of the cathedral now, as it lends some scale to the building. We'll take a trip outside now. I say outside, but since there's no roof, we've kind of been outside all the time. It's all open to the grey skies above. And from this vantage point on the rock, of course you can get a good view of the surrounding area. You can see why this site would have been of such strategic importance. And there's the town of Cashel. Some beautifully carved Celtic artwork on this cross. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you found the film interesting or informative, entertaining even. Many people watch the Naked Ireland films without subscribing, but subscribing is a relatively small thing for me to ask, and it really does help build the channel, so please think about that. Now this 28 metre high round tower is the oldest preserved structure here, dating from 1100. The purpose of these towers was to escape attackers. You'd get up into your tower and pull up the ladder, but I can't imagine that would be a foolproof plan. I guess it was just a case of your enemy waiting at the bottom until you needed to eat. Ireland is famous for these towers, but this is a particularly fine example. It's misty today and visibility isn't great, but the surrounding countryside still looks pretty amazing. Believe it or not, these towers were built in dry stone, in other words without mortar. Hard to believe. These were the skyscrapers of their day. This tower has had some mortar added by conservationists. Still, it's amazing it's still standing. And you can only imagine these window openings filled with beautiful stained glass. The first time I saw the Rock of Cashel was many years ago when I was driving to Cork from Dublin at night. It was all lit up and looked incredible after dark. In those days, whatever way the main Cork road was, you passed it, whereas now it doesn't seem to lie directly on the route anymore. These gravestones are totally unreadable now, but they look like amazing abstract works of art. We're heading back into the cathedral now, so we'll take a last look at this side of it from the outside. What a fantastic experience this has been, and having this historic site practically to myself. As I leave, I take the opportunity to look at one of the beautiful little detailed carvings on the wall. And then out we go. We'll take a quick look at this interesting and sizable rock that stands near the entrance. We can only guess what function this might have had when this cathedral and its surrounding buildings were bustling with life, other than tourists. And then I'll bid you farewell until our next Naked Ireland adventure.